So, Apple has just announced the new MacBook Pro and the iPad Pro, both with the latest M5 chip. And it's available for pre order starting today. This is the first time we are seeing the new M5 chip on any Apple product. And I'm super interested to see what improvements would this new generation of chips give us and what hardware improvements we would see in the laptop. I also am personally considering to update my 2-year-old MacBook Air. It had the M3 chip and buy the latest M5 chip. So here are my thoughts on what we know so far about the latest M5 MacBook Pro. First things first, Apple has only released the base M5 chip so far. We do not have the M5 Max or the M5 Pro or the M5 Ultra chips. And for laptops, this base M5 chip is only available in the 14-inch MacBook Pro. It is not available in any sizes of the MacBook Air or the 16-inch MacBook. All these laptops still have the older M4 chip. The new M5 chip is only available with the 14-inch MacBook Pro model. The 16-inch model is on the older M4 chip. We still have two color options as before, the space black and the gray. I personally think the space black is the best color. MacBook Pros are really known for their amazing displays. We still have the Retina HDR display that has great brightness and amazing picture clarity. The hardware ports remain the same. We have an HDMI port, MagSafe port for charging, 3 USB-C ports which also can be used for charging, one SD card slot, and the headphone jack. This is the same as the previous MacBook Pros. I would have expected to see Thunderbolt 5, but we still only have Thunderbolt 4 for the base model of the M5 chip. Again, absolutely no change to the cameras. We still have the same 12 megapixel camera. No change to microphones or speakers. They do sound amazing, so no complaints in that department, but it still would have been nice to have more microphones or speakers. This chip places so much emphasis on the AI performance, and we specifically have a neural accelerator that is built into each GPU core of the M5 chip that Apple promises would dramatically increase speed. Apple has shown us few benchmarks here, and it's interesting because all these benchmarks are compared against the base model MacBook Pro with the M1 chip. For example, for LLM prompt processing, we have a 6.4 times improvement compared to the base model MacBook M1, which was released like 5 years earlier. Similarly, for AI video processing, we see a 7.7 times improvement. The improvement compared against the previous generation M4 chip seems to be almost less than 2 times. Similarly, for 3D rendering, we have almost a 7x improvement compared to the baseline M1 chip. For speech enhancement in Adobe Premiere Pro, we almost have a 4 times improvement compared to the baseline M1 chip and more than 2 times improvement compared to the previous M4 version. For developers in Xcode, we apparently have a faster project build performance of up to 2 times compared to the baseline M1 Pro, but only a very minor update compared to the previous generation M4 chips. Keep in mind that these benchmarks are very specific and curated to these exact scenarios that Apple has come up with. Real world performance and how it feels to use the machine would be really different compared to all these metrics. We have 3 variants available with basically different storage options. We have the base model with a 16GB RAM and 512GB SSD. This comes in at $1,600 before tax. And then we have the variant with the 1TB SSD that is $200 higher at around $1,800. And finally, we have the 24GB RAM option with 1TB SSD that is $2,000 before tax. Apple is also offering a nano texture display for an extra $200 that promises you less reflections and better screen clarity outdoors. I personally don't find value in that because I use my laptop mostly indoors. But hey, you have that option. There is also a higher capacity 96-watt charger available for an extra $20. Again, I don't see value in this. There are so much more faster and more compact USB third-party chargers available that I would not recommend anyone paying extra to buy an Apple's own charger. So finally, here is my take on the just announced MacBook Pro M5. I think it's a very incremental update. If you already have an M3 or an M4 MacBook, then it would be hard to justify buying the M5 series. Or if you're someone for whom your workflows don't already push the boundaries of the M series chip, then I don't think you would really find the performance gains to be noticeable with the M5. And on the hardware side, we don't have any improvements. We do not get Wi-Fi 7, which is interesting because the iPad Pro gets Wi-Fi 7. The just launched iPad Pro gets Wi-Fi 7. We do not get Bluetooth 6. We do not get an OLED screen. We do not get Touch ID, all of that. But we do get improved battery life, supposedly, which I'm excited to test. Should get, at least Apple claims that we would get up to 24 hours of battery life. All the improvements that we see are on the software side. We obviously have the M5 chip with the advanced 3 nanometer chip design. We have neural accelerators. We have up to a 150 gigabyte per second memory bandwidth, all of that. So I think overall, the product would be up to 20% faster for really compute intensive tasks. But again, the question is, how many of us are already at the limit of the previous M3 or the M4 chip that we can actually make meaningful use of this 20% extra speed. On the design side as well, there are no improvements. Apple has not changed the design of the MacBook Pros or the Airs from the last many years, which is not a bad thing, right? It's has great, phenomenal design. And this year's MacBook Pro would be the same as the last year's MacBook Pro, which I actually have with me. This is my work laptop. It's a MacBook Pro M4, and the new MacBook Pro M5 would look exactly the same number of USB-C ports, HDMI port, all of that, the same design essentially. Now, don't get me wrong, the MacBooks are truly incredible machines, especially ever since Apple launched with the new M series chips. I've been using the MacBook as my daily driver for the last 5 years. I love how incredibly fast, lightweight, practical the machine is. I get up to 15 to 20 hours of battery life on one single charge. It charges with USB-C. They're truly an incredible machine. And for 80% of the population, even a base model MacBook Air, let's say with the M2 or M3 chip, would be completely fine. Now, I do plan to buy and test out the new MacBook Pro M5. We'll have a detailed review on the channel on October 22nd. That's when the laptop is available for purchase. So stay tuned and follow for more updates.